Planning Commission meeting. I'm going to call roll. Mr. Ryer is excused, otherwise all commissioners appear to be here. Is there anyone who'd like to make public comments or appearances this evening? You get up to 3 minutes of time to share your ideas with the Planning Commission. This is my awkward stare, okay? All right. Any public comments? Any public comments? Seeing none, we're going to move into first agenda item number 4, certified survey map. Applicant is Northport Group LLC. The Planning Commission is being asked. I forgot to ask for the approval of the minutes. Is that what you're doing to me? I'm just really excited. Looking for the approval. Chad and I are under pressure here. Approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Thank you, Commissioner Knopp.
So moved. You're
Second?
excited easily, aren't you?
Moved and second. Any questions or concerns on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now we can do public comments. Nobody said anything. Number 4, thank you. Certified survey maps, proposed lot combination and public way dedication at 922-926 North Wisconsin Street from the Northport LLC Group. The staff recommends that we recommend to the Common Council the approval of the CSM. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, just a real quick background. This is a CSM that originated from a conditional use grant that was approved for the automotive detailing business that is located in that, on that property now. And one of the conditions of that grant was to use of a certified survey to address unifying the right-of-way line along Wisconsin Street and also the city alley on the east side of the property. And at the last Common Council meeting, the council approved a discontinuance of a portion of that of North Wisconsin Street. And I'm just trying to get that up. And also, that set the stage for this CSM to kind of consolidate all the 4 different lots into one, and then have the uniform alley and Wisconsin Street right-of-way to that. Replug it in, okay. And then, should there be after this recommendation, because there is a dedication of a public dedication, council should approve the CSM. And with that, staff does recommend approval as presented.
Any questions or concerns for Mr. Harris? We can see the map and the pieces in our packet. Mr. Knopp?
Go ahead. Bob, just to clarify, I know we dealt with that right-of-way issue on the northwest corner of the property. Mm-hmm. What happens to the 20 feet? That it looks like 20 feet in the alley, and then there's maybe 35 feet that goes from the front of the property into the center line of the roadway. Do those just...
Yeah, that's the dedication of public way. So once that CSM is approved and recorded.
Those kind of just get absorbed into the public way?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think
Just wanted to verify that.
the engineer is here if he wants to, if I'm correct. Yep, okay.
Those will be looking for a motion for action.
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion and seconded. Any questions or concerns on the motion? All right, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing it passes. Excellent. We'll see you at council then. All right, our next agenda item is building site and operation plan for proposed industrial park, business condominiums, planned development located at the northwest corner of Maritime Drive and South Park Street. Planning Commission is being asked to approve a business site and operations plan to develop a vacant 5-acre parcel in Port Washington's industrial park for a collection of up to 23 individually owned businesses and light manufacturing spaces contained within 10 single-story light industrial buildings in conformance with a previously approved OPD and related concept plan. Recommendation from staff is the approval of the BSOP with the following conditions. 1, approved subject to final approval of civil lighting and landscape plans by staff require a masonry brick-style belt of masonry for those buildings fronting Maritime Drive and South Park Street. Final approval of a developer's agreement, all dumpsters to be enclosed, any reductions of parking stalls replaced with turf grass or other landscaping where feasible, and any other conditions as determined tonight by the Planning Commission. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So quick background. This was proposed as a plan development last year. And along with that was the concept plan that is in your packets. And this concept plan and the plan development to go with that was approved by the Common Council back in May of last year. And following the plan development process, with the approval of that concept plan and the accompanying zoning, the development team is coming back with the more detailed business site and operations plan that you see in your packet. The site plan and the design of the buildings are consistent with the approved concept plan, and with that, the staff recommends approval. There was just some small changes between the concept plan and the final site plan. Again, it's considered consistent, but as you see on those south buildings, they were originally just facing north or to the internal drive, and then we come out with the final site plan is those buildings on the south facing Maritime are now facing Maritime with the parking in front of those buildings. That's truly the only deviation from the concept plan. Design Review Board did review this at their meeting on Tuesday and recommended the Plan Commission approve. Their recommendations to the council were the same as staff comments. They did want to add the concern and add landscaping to the north, south, and east perimeters, more than what is shown on the site plan now. And then they did want to explore, if feasible, expand the glazing, including the overhead doors. Outside of that, I don't have any other comments besides my recommendation that was repeated by the mayor. And with that, I'll turn it over to the council and questions and comments to and from the development team, which are here tonight.
Any questions or comments?
Bob, can you repeat what the recommendations from the review board, the architectural review board?
Yes, they recommended approval, and then it was in the formal recommendation was to require a brick-style belt of masonry for those buildings fronting on the streets. Those are now included in the most recent renderings. It was also enclosed the dumpsters and also with a non-chain link fence, and also add landscaping to the north, south, and east perimeters where feasible, and also expand the glazing, including overhead doors where feasible.
Okay.
When you say the most recent renderings, that's more recent than what was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep, and I was trying to show, it's up on the PowerPoint, but the difference is that the street-facing buildings will have the
Oh,
belt of masonry, and then the metal paneling is a sample here too.
so the east, anything that's facing the streets, not the internal streets, but the Maritime and
Yes.
what is the other one?
Park.
Park.
So those buildings facing
have
Maritime,
masonry.
yeah, the portions of those buildings facing Maritime and Park will have that masonry. That's, the sample is here, along with the buildings are of that gray and dark gray palette.
And that's the sample there?
Yes.
And is that a lick and stick or
No. It's,
or is it true masonry veneer?
It's a dry stack.
Dry stack?
Yeah, it's got tabs on the back that get screwed to the wall.
Ah,
It's made out of
Is it concrete?
By Norris Products in Allenton. Yeah, it's concrete.
Okay. Okay.
Lincoln stack.
So that's just a steel stud, it's all steel structure, no change in structural system with that?
No, we're doing a full straight metal clad building,
Okay,
so there's actually treated plywood behind this,
okay.
and then this gets screwed to that treated plywood.
Got it.
Are individual owners of the condos able to modify them in production, or they're all going to be the same?
They're all gonna be the same as we have
Okay.
shown on it.
Any other questions? As we looking for a motion? Mr. Canote?
On the renderings, I did not see any downspouts or gutters or any means of transferring any kind of rain. So I'm assuming that that is sheeting off, and then looking at the grading plan, that is bringing quite a bit of rain sheeting across the parking and down the street. Yeah, so I drove around there before the meeting, and I know is it the business barns that's down Park? There's only just the opening for the overhead door and the man door, where here it's significantly different with a lot of parking in front of these buildings. So there's, by my calculation, the 37% gross floor area of surface coverage, when you include all of the impervious paving with the buildings, it's 70% of the site is impervious.
So if you've noticed in the total staff recommendation, the civil plans are currently under review by
Okay.
city staff, and that's one of the recommendations is recommend subject to final civil plan approval. Yeah.
Okay,
There is gutters and downspouts on this building.
there are. Okay,
5-inch gutters, 3x4 downspouts.
So are they daylighting then? They're not being piped through the retention ponds?
That I
They're
don't
just
have any-
daylighting?
yes.
Actually, guys, I need you to step to the microphone because we record and show the meetings. Thank you.
So the interior buildings, the interior and the U, there's actually a ditch between each building, and then there's a small catch basin that all the downspouts can be piped to, because there's a dumpster enclosure in between each building. So that'll all collect into that storm sewer. The ones on the north side, there's ditches between those buildings, which will then drain north into the swale, and that'll go to the pond on the northeast corner, I guess you want to say.
Okay.
And then on the south end, there's also a ditch that will drain to a catch basin. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a,
Between the two buildings?
yes, there's a catch basin in between.
Oh.
One?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. One other question I had then with that, and I think in the original presentation last year, there was the thought there, the 10. Thank you. There are the 10 buildings, and some of them are divisible. I've got my, yeah, I've got the grading plan. We're good. But there was the thought that some of those buildings could be combined, correct? Now, the finished floor elevation is a little bit off on some of those.
Some of them are stepped, yes.
Okay, so if I were to say purchase one of, we'll say, building 17 and 16, and I wanted to combine that into one whole unit and make my lakeside widget device, I have a 1-inch difference in the slab in there. Is that accurate?
Bill can speak to that.
17 and 16 have a 1-foot step in that floor.
It's a 1-foot step in there.
No.
Okay,
And that one cannot be combined into one unit because that partition wall that you see down there,
Yep.
middle of that building, is actually load bearing.
okay. Is that the same with all of the buildings in the middle?
No, the other buildings have a 6-inch step in the floor.
Okay,
I guess they could wind up combining them, but they'd have to deal with some kind of railing or something in that, on that floor system, so people don't get hurt with that 6-inch step.
Okay. Ramp, depending on
Yeah,
what it
you'd have
is,
to
you could
ramp
do
it
a
or
ramp
something to get
yeah.
down to the other floor.
And you
for
couldn't
ADA.
take, so the load bearing, the dividing wall is always load bearing in all of these kind of
No,
groupings?
Just 16 and 17.
Oh, okay.
That 110 by 100-foot building,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a 55-foot side and a 55-foot side, and it's partitioned down the middle.
Okay.
That's actually a load-bearing wall.
The perimeter buildings, if those were to be combined as one, that's all the same finished floor elevation?
Yes.
Okay.
Other questions? Is there anyone who'd like to make a motion then?
I will make a motion to approve this agenda item number 5, building site and operations plan.
All right, motion, is there a second?
Is there, do you want to include the conditions?
Yes, I'm
both for
sorry.
staff or your own?
Yes, I would include the staff recommendation, the approval of the BSOP with the following conditions that are listed in the agenda here.
So the motion would be to accept it with the BSOP recommendations 1 through 6.
Yes, please.
Is there a second for that?
one question I have is that,
Hold on, I'm going to call
all
Carly
right.
Pro in here. You guys just start talking tonight, so if there's not a second, we can go back to discussion. Or if there's a second, we can continue the discussion. Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, there's a second. Mr. Ehrlich, sorry.
so my question is part of your motion, Alderman Newmeyer, you did not include the recommendations from the Architectural Review Board, which is adding the masonry band and the windows to the doors.
I would like to add that to it.
So number 2 is require masonry brick styles piece of the building. The only addition there would be a number 7.
Oh, there it
for-
is, okay.
Yeah,
Number 7 would be glazing,
glazing,
additional glazing.
additional glazing. Yes.
Okay, so you're amending your motion, is Mr. Knope, are you good with that? Hold on a second. Mr. Knope, are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right, Roger.
Are the contingencies for civil review and developers agreement?
That's numbers 1 through 6, yep.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't have the paperwork in front of me.
That's okay. Yep, good question. Any other questions? All right, then I'm going to call a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes.
Thanks, guys.
Gentlemen, I just appreciate that in your renderings, you threw some shade at success with the Land Rovers and Porsches and Mercedes-Benzes.
Wow.
I think that's fantastic. I really like the blue one. Okay. Get the architects excited. I like the cars. All right. We're going to move into number 6 then, zoning text amendment, a proposal to amend section 20-34-300 of the City of Port Washington zoning code regarding allowable uses and building materials in the arterial gateway zoning overlay district. The project and background, the Plan Commission is being asked to provide a recommendation to the Common Council regarding amendment of the said zoning code, specifically the proposed text amendment would remove used motor vehicle lots, lumber and building supply yards, indoor self-storage facilities, and boat sales and service from the listing of permitted uses in the arterial gateway zoning overlay district. The recommendation is to move the approval of this to the council for the zoning text amendment. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I don't have any PowerPoint slides for this, so I think we're good to go. This is a holdover from the last meeting. During the review of this item last month, the Plan Commission suggested that 2 other changes be made to this ordinance. Specifically, one would be to take boat sales and service operations out of the list of permitted uses and thereby making them prohibited uses. And the second item was to add or really update the exterior building materials section and add architectural precast concrete and architectural panelized wall systems. And doing so just kind of modernizes this section as the metal phrasing in the current code did not really foresee what the exterior materials and cladding materials are used for today, and so those have been added. There's no other changes.
All right, and this is an ongoing conversation that we've been having. So any other questions or clarifications for Mr. Harris?
I do.
Mr. Newmeyer?
This doesn't affect, I know we talked about this before, Bob, this doesn't affect current businesses that are there. We don't impact their operation.
No, it doesn't affect, for example, service, car service shops. Those are still allowable uses. It's just standalone used car lots that we're taking out.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Any other questions? Otherwise, Chad, got anything to say there? Get in the minutes.
Seconded.
Oh, you did second that one before. All right, I'd be looking for a motion then to accept the recommendation to move this up to council. Moved by Chad. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded. Any questions or concerns on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. There's no further business in front of the planning commission this evening, so I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second? Excellent. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?